Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the Bearded Clansmen with Aaron. We're going to talk about the March on Winterfell today, the new pack that just released yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Yep, Thursday.
Thursday. It's the second pack in the what are they calling this one? The Shadow Cycle.
Yep.
Different cards of design. This is the Dance of Shadow Cycle. Hence the cool purple lettering above us. But the first card we have is Wyman Manderly. So Wyman Manderly is a 6-cost start card who's loyal and unique. It's got an intrigue icon and a power icon and 5 strength. House Manderly traits and Lord, so Lord matters. And as an action, you can sacrifice a character. That's like the first line of text. I think Stark likes that, just on its own. Sack outlets are good. And then as a reaction, after one or more characters you control are sacrificed or killed, stand Wyman Manderly and draw a card. Limit 3 times per round. I like him.
Yeah. What is there not to like about in Stark right now? I hear draw's really good for Stark.
I hear draw's really good in most games.
Yeah, in most factions, and Stark needed the draw. And then I hear they got unlimited economy, well, non-limited economy last pack. So seems once you get draw in gold, you're set as a faction.
I like that it's sacrificed or killed because like it means that you can even stand him for Dom if you lose like your military. Like it's good on like both sides of the table. So like you can use it in like a combo, or you can just use it as like a solid 5 intrigue blocker in Stark. Like
absolutely
reducible by noble cause, and I don't know. I just like it. I mean, it's fealty reducible too. Like it hits all of the points that you'd want.
Yeah, exactly. Hits all the staples of Stark, whether it's Wars to Come, the Faith Militant right now, Crossing, fealty. He's definitely slottable in any one of those decks. I hear I kind of want to dry him in some jank with the North Remember, or not North Remembers, Cold as Winter. Hard as Winter, excuse me. Hard as Winter, and that's where when you sacrifice or a character's killed from your hand, you can put a character with the same print across.
Man,
so,
this is something that like most card games look for as like a solid. Like, what can you do? As an action, you can draw a card. As an action, you can have an outlet for another effect, and like that sacrifice a character thing is like simple, efficient, does what it needs to do, and it's even good in like you could run this with like Apostle Waves or Outlated Waves, and like just kind of like have a bunch of, or play a bunch of them, stack them for like in like marshalling phase for power, and like sweep the game with 3 if you like set those turns up like that. It could be fun.
Absolutely, yeah. So
I agree, jank though. Like,
yeah, that's my jank with him. But I mean, he's gonna be efficient in any Stark deck you run, especially Faith Militant and Crossing.
Yep,
those seem to be the 2 Stark decks that could put on power quickly and take the game.
I was just like stand and draw a card again. That's so cool.
It's so.
I'm thinking like 5. Do we 5? Do we do ABs? 5.
Yeah,
5.
It's 5 for me as well.
All right, let's go to our next card, which is basically the polar opposite for me. A 1-cost condition attachment that is non-loyal. It says, during a military challenge, attached character gains 2 strength. And this says, attached character cannot be declared as an attacker or defender in a intrigue challenge, and it's called Honorbound. So, like, thematically, cool. I can see this as like a negative attachment, maybe?
It could be both.
Yeah, I mean, well, I see it being more useful as a negative attachment, I guess, because you're already in Stark, right? You're already got a lot of military icons with good power. This is kind of like win more in that case, but the bottom half of the text could be more like another Stark control, like Ward, or something like that. But
yeah, and it also depends on how much Targ is in your meta with the new Dany, because this can be a positive attachment for you. So also protects like Blackfish and Daisy and other things like that from just getting straight burned. And also Crown of Gold, you're not going to be just crowning a gold Blackfish.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that, because like even though it's only during military challenge, only during the challenge, you can still like get that benefit. Okay, I dig it.
Like stuff like that, positive attachments can be used during that time. So, but like you said though, most likely you see Cersei or you see heavy intrigue decks that you're probably going to use it as negative attachment.
I think that could be funny on a Cersei, like an Honorbound Cersei to me thematically just seems really funny.
Exactly. Not getting that +2.
No. And you're not like discarding extra cards, getting power, you can shut down all that stuff. I mean like this is like a a very meta-dependent card, I guess. Like, you have to play it.
Super, yeah.
So maybe it's like a 2 for me, depending on what your meta looks like.
Yeah, I would go 2. Okay. Absolutely. I would agree with 2.
All right, next one is another Queen of Thorns. It's a shadow 5-cost shadow card with an intrigue and power icon, 4 power, or 4 strength, sorry. It is unique, and it is a lady, and it is loyal. Shadow's 4, so again, you're paying 1, was it 1, 2, 6? Yeah, 1 over the shadow cost, or 1 over the play cost.
Yep.
Stealth, which is kind of cool on a Tyrell character.
Absolutely.
And a reaction after you win a challenge in which the Queen of Thorns is participating, choose a card you control in the shadows and put it into play. That seems cool.
Yep.
I'm thinking like you could do some cool stuff with like Nighttime Marauders or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she kind of... Right now, there's a thing going on with the meta where banner decks are starting to blow up, and keep
you mean like
Alliance
or like
just
banner,
Stark banner,
okay,
Greyjoy banner, well, Greyjoy dragon, Stark dragon. So specifically, one banner is being used right now, and that's because of a guy named Aegon. So I kind of see her working very well with a Tyrell. Dragon banner and just pulling Aegon out.
What are pulling Aegon out of shadows? Got you, because then you can do all the
the shenanigans with Aegon. So
seems fun.
She's someone right now who will definitely bring back some banner decks with some key shadow cards, like you said, Nighttime Marauders. It could be even Barra. You know, you can pull those shadow girls in and kneel someone during challenge.
Super build around, I guess, because like it's not going to go in any deck where shadows isn't a thing, and so we're probably going to have to maybe wait 1 or 2 more packs before this is like a
mono
super.
Before it's a mono Tyrell.
Yeah,
she will definitely be enabling banner decks, if you will, and I specifically think Aegon, because Aegon's
that makes sense
right now.
Anything where you're going to pay, effectively say play this for 2 and flip it for 0, but like I don't really understand. Is she a shadows card because she's trying to protect herself? Or is she a shadows card for like any other purposes?
For thematic wise?
No, like why did they put shadows on her?
Gotcha. Like, yeah, I would say probably it could easily be a second turn. You know, your second player turn where you just it looks like your board's nothing, and then all of a sudden you're gonna pop out 2 characters from shadows. You know, one for a 4 cost, and then the next for free. So
yeah, just gotta win one of those. Yeah, which is possible.
But stealth is gonna help you win.
Sure.
And Tyrell doesn't have trouble winning challenges.
No, that's
with
true.
Strength levels. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm thinking like I understand it totally on the thematic side. I was just like I wonder why, because she's not something that's triggering off stealth. She just cares about other characters with stealth. So it's almost like she's a location, like on a stick, if you will. Like she has power icons and power or strength, but she has like location based.
But I mean, like you look at some of these other ones, like Tyrion with stealth for Lannister. Lannister doesn't have too much stealth, but he is pretty effective on his own with just his stealth.
That's a good point.
You know? So I mean, like you don't need all Greyjoy, you know, tons of stealth or.
Oh, I guess I meant like shadows, like her being shadows is no, that was me.
Yeah, shadows wise, I mean, it's like. You could just put her down, sure.
Definitely plays into like the mind game part of
absolutely.
What this does.
I think that's what shadows. What Danny wants out of shadows is it's going to be more hidden information.
Yep,
now.
That makes sense. Danny is in the designer. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so the next card we got is Old Town Undercity. We had chatted about this card a little bit in our local group. It's a 3-cost location that's unique and loyal. It's an Old Town location, obviously. Shadow 2, and as a reaction after a card you control comes out of shadows, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 to your hand, place 1 on the bottom of your deck, and place 1 on top of your deck. So you can do that once a phase. Once a phase abilities are good.
Yeah, I hear that. You know, Mace. I hear that's a really good card. So yeah, once a phase, and then you know they also have a shadows card that seems to get them 2 gold in a draw. You know, last pack. So
this effectively says. Draw 1 card, stack your deck to draw another card, because you can stack the reaction effects, and because you have the priority basically of doing that on your turn. So, I don't know, man. Like, I guess it's. Have you even played this out of shadows? Because no, I guess it counts itself, doesn't it? Because if it flips up, it can react to itself. Okay,
it does react to itself.
And this is one of the rare shadow cards that cost the exact. Oh no, this costs 1 more. I'm thinking.
Yeah, it'll cost 1 more to come out.
Seems cool.
Just like every shadows card will. Every card will come out.
Good. I'm glad that's consistent. So. I think it's cool. Oh, we didn't really rate Queen. Let's go back to Queen real quick. As far as Queen goes, I think she's probably like a 3-4 because she's definitely built around, so she can't just hit in any Tyrell deck. But I'm hoping there's enough cards at some point where she's just really easy.
Yeah, I think she. I'm gonna put her at a 5 just for future use.
Okay.
I think she's gonna be insane once this cycle and next cycle comes out.
Sure, I agree.
Getting
with that.
things for free is just
very good.
Very good effect.
as
Tyrell,
as bottom, right?
Exactly, and Tyrell doesn't even need that, but they get it. So that's why I'm putting her in that.
Okay. So Old Town Undercity. My main question is: do you even need something like this in Tyrell? Like, is it worth throwing in against other locations?
Yeah, I see your point. I think right now Tyrell is coming to a fork in the road with, okay, I see a lot of people not playing Pleasure Barges anymore. They're going for Old Town Informers, so now they're just cycling through their deck.
Yeah, and
rather than drawing their deck. And then what they're doing is they're going to draw their key cards when they need it. So I think Old Town will help you pick that fork in the road a lot easier. I see maybe like, let's say, crossing decks. We'll stick with like Pleasure Barges. Get those cards, get them out, things like that. I see like Tyrell Wars to Come or Summer, passive power game cards. You'll go towards Old Town Undercity.
Okay. Yeah, and I definitely think it's one of those things that you fit inside of like, if you're playing Shadows, like of course this is a great choice, right? And I'm a fan of like this kind of, they call it in Magic, and I always reference Magic because it's been around for so long, but this is like a scry effect, basically. You're saying like, this is drawing you a card, but you're also getting to look at the top 3 cards and say, do I need this or not? And that kind of draw fixing is really, really healthy. Like, or it's good for your deck.
Here's good in Martel.
Right?
So all right. They seem to be doing well with it. Why not give it to Tyrell?
So I'm thinking, again, I think this one's like 3-4 for me just because like of the current state.
Yeah.
I don't see it being in every deck, but the next 2 cycles coming out, like I think it could get a lot stronger.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it at a 4. It's just it's a very powerful effect, like you said, and I think someone will find a use for it.
I guarantee they will.
I guarantee you will.
All right, so we have our Night's Watch cards. So our first Night's Watch card is a 4-cost character. It's got 1 intrigue icon and 3 strength. Cunning Steward is a steward and non-loyal. As a shadow card with cool reminder text in case you forgot what shadow does. And while you are a defending player, Cunning Steward gains a military and a power icon. So, I mean, it seems cool. This is like support for Old Wall, though. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. So, I don't know. I won't be able to rate this and tell you much use about this card because, unfortunately, it's a steward, so it's not a builder. So you can't put it in builders. And then at the same time, you're like, yeah, it's for the Old Wall. Cool, it's a Tricon. Awesome. It's shadows, so no one can stealth it. It can come out after someone initiates a challenge to block that challenge. So I just see it as an efficient card.
Yeah.
I mean, you're paying 5 for it. I don't know exactly where that fits in with a.
I think with like
the
underground vaults, you can probably afford 5 pretty quickly if you're playing that kind of defensive deck.
Yeah.
I don't know that money was ever truly a problem once you get your board set, and so you probably like want to mull if you get this guy in opening hand or too many of these guys with other things that don't help you. But a solid defender, I mean, he's at 3, so like unless someone goes really hard, they're never going to be triggering those 5 win or more things. So that's always a good thing to think about. Is like, so you hit with like, if you block with like a Chud or you block with like an Econ character, you have a higher chance of losing those like superior claim or like put to the sword. I don't even know if people run that stuff anymore, but it's a thing, and Reigns will trigger and all that stuff. So 3 is a really good strength, I think. But I agree with you. Like, I mean, you have the tutor card that came out in the last set, I think, that like pulls one of each kind out. So if you're building that kind of like let's all work together type of like wall deck, then maybe this is good because you can just fish it out. I don't know. I haven't really ever focused on stewards as a keyword.
Yeah, I mean, you had that rat cook deck, but I mean, it didn't ever really take off. And right now, I mean, stewards. I mean, I only see it in Reigns of Castamere right now with John and Master Amen and a couple others. Smaller stewards.
I don't think it's a deck I ever would play because it's like when I play Night's Watch and it's so slow like that, I'm like, I'd rather play like put my face in the wall and see if I'm awake after I hit the wall, like as opposed to just wait and wait.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, there's only like Argento in Europe. He's been doing really well with the Steward, with the Reigns Casimir Night's Watch, but you don't see it really in the U.S. meta right now.
Okay, interesting.
So I don't, like I said, I'm just gonna give it a 3. It's flat out efficient character. I just don't know what deck you're going to be putting it in and who you're going to be taking out for this card.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think I like his like spread of stuffs on the shadows. Like the shadows is a cool extra effect you get, but he's still a pretty good character on defense, and that's what you're going to want to do if you put him in the deck. He's going to go in, right?
No.
All right, the next one is a really cool card. It's a new wall. So a 6-cost location, unique and loyal. It's the North keyword, and it says each character you control gains a Night Watch affiliation and loses all other factions' affiliations. Then as an action, you can kneel the wall to choose an opponent and put an eligible character of that player's choice from his or her discard pile into play under your control. The word eligible there kind of throws me off because it doesn't mean you have to be able to like banner that character in, right? It just means that it's somebody who can be like
who's not already on the table.
Okay, gotcha.
Like if there's a King Balon discard and a King Balon on the table, you can't just go and grab their King Balon.
Or if somebody's in their dead pile, you can still play a copy yourself, though, right?
No, you could not because they're not eligible at that point either.
So you can't play a copy of a card in someone else's dead pile?
No, because they're dead.
That. Okay.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, they're using the term eligible because there was a thing back in the beginning of the game with Euron and all this other stuff where they were allowing like Euron to steal a location that was already out in play, but now, and even like I think they were allowing Yoren to do that too, but they kind of redid it in the rules reference and stuff.
Sure.
So now I think they're just adding that word eligible. That way, it just lets you know that you need to follow the rules reference. Of that.
That makes sense then.
Yeah, so you can't just be grabbing people's stuff that's already either in play or dead.
So, is this a card you red door with?
Can't.
Okay.
Cannot
because
red
it's
door.
too expensive.
Yeah,
yes.
too expensive.
So, no. So, then this is expensive. Like, so, but I've heard that it's worth it. I haven't actually seen anything, but I've read that it's worth it because of the things you can do with it. Because this is a location you can like stand with some of your like builder characters.
Veteran builder can stand this, so you can do the.
Seems good.
Yeah, you can do the shenanigans. So, you're gonna put 3 of this in the deck. Right now, it's going in Night's Watch Green Sight. It makes sense with Green Sight.
Yep. Yeah, it does.
And then you couple Green Sight with. What is
Queen's
that?
Crown?
Queen's Crown. There we go.
I was gonna say any deck that lets me use Queen's Crown, I'm gonna like.
Exactly. And then you'll go into Celador, the new Septon or whatever.
Yeah.
He discards a character during the challenge phase out of the hand, and then also you have that typical entry challenge too, so you can also So do we? So there's like what 3 or 4 ways
of
discarding characters into play. So imagine the wall. All you need is Veteran Builder, and next thing you know, you're getting 2 characters in a turn. I mean, and it's an action, so it doesn't mean you have to do it during challenges either.
Yeah.
Probably the best time to do it is during challenges, but you don't have to do it during challenges. So,
is there a reaction window after like reserve is counted?
There's always an action window after every phase.
Okay, so you could even do it after they discard for reserve if they like don't have a good choice or hit.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there's a 5th way of them discarding cards.
Okay. I wonder. No, you couldn't play that. Maybe you could play that way, where you play some more locations that reduce reserve size, just to try to force
Frostfangs.
it in.
Yeah, Frostfangs. You have
make that deck.
Yeah, you could try to put it in a winter deck, make them the reserve -1. Yeah. You could do.
I like Green Sight though, because Green Sight's consistent discard. So like, I'm thinking of around Green Sight.
First turn you do Race. That way you reduce the reserve. The plot reduces 2 on the reserve. There's plenty of ways of getting characters in the discard pile. And the only thing that's going to be countering this is like Isle Ravens.
Yeah.
The player does get to choose. So. You may not always get their best characters.
Sure.
So that player does get to choose who he's going to give it to you.
I wonder if there's some deck here with like, obviously there's some deck with Pillage, but if we do like Night's Watch, Banner, Kraken, I wonder if there's anything we can do. It's like, is Triss loyal?
Triss is not loyal.
So like,
you could
wonder if you can start like controlling discard pile with like Triss's ability and stuff like that, where maybe. And my other question, so that seems fun. My other question is this the nitro that the like always kind of there but never quite top tier steal your characters Night's Watch deck needed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think this is the location that, because I have a Night's Watch steel deck and I've been playing it for a while, probably since like Stall like 2 years ago when I saw a gentleman do it with Night's Watch Winter.
Okay.
And then you have Night Gathers. And so yeah, I have pretty much everything set out, but this location kind of is the, like you said, the nitro for that deck to just get even better.
Yeah.
And then also you have Varys as well, so I mean Varys is a way to get cards.
That's so dirty, because you're like, I mean, you can like Last of the Giants them out and then just like start stealing their crap. That's so cool.
So
actually.
I mean, like, sure, you use the wall. They may want to give you crappy characters, but then the wall with the Night Gathers all of a sudden just changes things. And then Underground Vaults, like you said, Gates of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're gonna run Varys Riddle. You're gonna run Fallen from Favor. You're gonna run all these like high plots, high initiative. Like you're gonna run Iron Throne to give you the extra initiative. Or not initiative, excuse me.
Dominance.
Reserve.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Gotcha,
extra reserve. You're gonna run, you know, some other. I forget the other Night's Watch location gives you +1 reserve, and you get to draw a card if you win.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like,
you know?
Is it the like Rookery, Northern Rookery?
Not the Northern Rookery.
Okay.
It's something else.
Okay.
I forget. You'll have that. I mean, this deck's been around. So this thing just needs you just need to find slots for it, and then you just need to make sure you can pay for it.
So for me, I mean, this card, the deck it goes in is like the only, like, it's not, this is one of those cards where like the deck it goes in is so good that I want to give it like a 4 or 5 because it's going in that deck every time it's going to be there, and it's so good in that deck. That, I don't know.
It's gonna disrupt other decks what they're gonna want to do, and that's a strategy people aren't taking right now. So like hand destruction, pillage, and then stealing characters, I think, are the 3 ways to disrupt decks right now.
And now, so are you saying that if I were to pull out, let's say I pulled out your, Daenerys, right, from your graveyard or from your discard pile, does that mean that you can't play a copy of her?
You cannot.
You can't because I have a copy out.
You have a copy out, so you will not be able. So you steal a copy. I cannot play that copy.
Is it because you own the copy, or is it because
that comes from the ruling of the Euron I was telling you about earlier in the Yoren?
So in mirror matches, like if we're playing the same thing, can we each have a copy of Daenerys on the board?
That's fine, yes, because you each control that copy. But what this says right here, it says within the game text is you choose, the player chooses, and they give that character control.
Gotcha.
That's the key word is control.
So it doesn't change ownership; it just changes control.
Exactly.
And since ownership is the same, that means that an opposing
2 people can have the ownership of the same card. So like mirror matches, like you said.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
But the key word now that differentiates that is control.
Control. Okay, cool. And so my other question was, and I know we've spent a lot of time on this card, but it's really cool. But does Craster work with the Varys sweep?
With Varys,
like if you're like doing the Varys trigger, can you Craster like your guys back?
Yes, you could.
Or I guess everybody back.
Yes. So if you want to do the Varys, and then use this as an action, and then do Craster back. I'm pretty sure you can do that.
Well, somebody will tell us.
But you may not actually, because Varys is at the end of the dominance phase.
Okay, so I wasn't sure.
He would be after action.
Okay.
So actually, no, you could not do it. Sorry.
Can't live the dream.
Can't live the dream on that one because Varys is at the end of the dominance phase, so all actions are already done. And Craster has to be used in that phase.
Yeah, in that plot phase or whatever.
Whatever phase someone was wiped off.
Okay. Rating. What do you think?
I'm gonna give this wall a 4.
Okay.
Because it is already disrupting the meta right now. It's breathing new life to Night's Watch on Iron Throne 2. Will these decks be competitive? That we have to see.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how competitive these decks can be, but I think this is a major disruption. Now the win condition, that's what's going to be tough for these decks to find, and that was tough for my deck. Essentially, my deck's win condition was just tire them out, and then eventually I'll get 15 power.
Yeah. So you really if you want to focus on getting their win condition on your board, you kind of have to like get the right characters.
You just have to keep tiring them
that's
out.
Interesting.
Keep,
that's interesting.
Keep, you know, Varys or March the Ball or whatever. Or take the key characters that they can't, you know, they wanted to win with.
Yeah. And they become Night's Watch, which is nice for all of the things that you're probably putting alongside this.
Yeah, Renown will become your win condition.
Yeah, there you go.
Winning challenges Renown.
All right, our first Baratheon card is going to be a 5-cost character with military and power icon, a 4 strength, and it's Sir Justin Macey, non-loyal, and it's a knight character, so that's kind of cool. Knights are fun. When you control a king character, Sir Justin Macey gains renown, and after you win, as a reaction after a Baratheon character gains a power, stand it. So, I mean, that reaction ability is kind of cool. As far as the Baratheon decks go, as far as I remember, like getting Robert stood again is fun. Doing double challenges that Robert's never bad.
Yep.
And so, like, that combo is cool. Is he worth putting on the board alongside those other really expensive characters? He's kind of hard to get out because he's not a lord, or he does. I mean, I guess you can Grey Hall him.
Yeah.
So no, that's 6 or greater. So,
I mean, I see him, for me, I think these 2 Baratheon cards are really good. I think they're pretty solid. And where I see it is Lower the Crossing.
Okay.
I see this guy, I mean, between, I believe it is Penrose, and you have the Night of the Bastard Song, or excuse me,
the one that came out
Bastard,
last week.
yeah.
Of, like, the one with the wildfire behind him in the art.
Yeah. Bastard of Night Song, excuse me. I said it reverse. Yeah, I see, and then, of course, Robert. I see this as just, you know, crossing, gathering power, and standing, and I see some Baratheon crossing using the attachment that goes on, I believe it's King or Bastards, that allows them to gain +2 in renown.
That's what I was thinking about. It's like you can throw your +2 in renown on maybe your chumpiest attacker, hit him on the first crossing, and still stand him because he gets power.
It's still gonna, you know, especially Bastard of Night Song. You put that attachment on him, and that's gonna basically give him the ability to work with Massey and stuff like that. And then of course, Robert has inherent renown, and then I mean you could use the old Stannis with Lightbringer. You know, but I mean that's gonna give Lightbringer's gonna be able to stand that character, and then Massey could stand him again. So I mean, being able to do like 2 challenges with 1 character is really
money, because that's when you're like sitting there and you're like, crap, I don't have icons, or maybe I don't have characters to do this and defend. That double challenge is almost imperative. Like, if you can do it, you have a good crossing deck.
Exactly, and that's where I see him most effective right now. I also see him in a banner, like Tyrell or something like that. He's going to be able to banner in there.
Does he banner in Stark well? No, because he doesn't stand Stark characters. But
no, but I mean, he could stand another, if you want Bastard of Night Song with Stark or something like that. The other thing, I mean, I see is he's going to work well with the next event that we talked about, especially in Crossing. So being able to stand someone for that, and we'll get into that event later. But and then lastly, I mean, he can just work in a generic, you know, Baratheon Wars to Come or things like that. Being able to stand someone and defend, you know.
I think I think I agree. Like sounds like a pretty standard Baratheon, especially if you're not bannering. Like, throwing him in is going to probably be money most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. One of is going to help.
Because you can even use like the one card that's like you could use the card that says like you can play it and put some power on some characters, and then they kneel, and then this guy will stand them immediately. Yeah. So not only did you just get a power swing, you get to use those characters again, I would think. Yeah. And that's a kind of cool jank combo, but like, there's some pretty cool stuff you can do in Baratheon with power. So that seems like fun to me. And I'm thinking like 3-4. I want to see where it goes.
I would definitely give him a 3. Yeah, because we need to see how well these things we talked about actually work in practice.
The 5 cost, I think, like, is what hurts him a little bit, because it's in a weird range for getting like higher cost characters out.
It is for getting them out. It's a good slot. It is starting to quickly become popular for Baratheon right now.
For 5 cost.
For 5 cost. I still think it's a good slot for Baratheon. They were lacking 5 cost characters.
Okay,
good 5 cost characters. So now you got Cormel, Bastard, and Justin.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. And then, I mean, honestly, with King Beyond the Wall, too, that attachment, he'll work well with getting that guy who has that attachment, you know, say a Renowned Body with that attachment. Being able to stand him twice, that many cards you're going to be able to draw. Yeah. It's going to be a banner deck, of course, because that's how the King Beyond the Wall attachment works. But, I mean, shoot, there's a lot of I think surprising elements that Justin can bring that we just haven't even discussed.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'd give him a 3.
Well, I guess the last thing I'd say is with King of the North, he's gonna like decks that are gonna run that and have Baratheon in and around it are gonna love this card because it's a 5 Bicon 4 strength with Renown. Like, because you're always gonna play that King character, you always want to have him.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think Tyrell probably fits the best.
Yeah. All right, we got the event that we were just talking about. 2-cost event, non-loyal March on Winterfell. Play only during a challenge you initiated. As an action, end the challenge with no winner or loser, and you may initiate another power challenge this phase. So, I really think this is good for crossing decks. Get someone to, you know, kneel, let's say a renowned character or an important character, and you're only doing like a chump challenge, especially like on a turn like, oh man, you know, I'm like 1 or 2 away. If I block with my, you know, 2 renowned guys, I win the game. Yeah.
No, you don't. No.
That seems like the big one for me, where it's like, because I was in a situation in our last tournament we just ran where if I could have like played something like this, they would have like stalled out, and I could have probably came back and done something because. Like, that turn was going to be a power swing turn for me, but the Renown is what killed me before I could even get to, like, the challenge I need to get to. So it was like...
I see that a lot with, like, you know, my experiences with some of the crossing decks I've had, especially with Baratheon, because I've been testing the Baratheon crossing deck in hopes when these cards come out, I'll start slotting them in. And that's why I see there's a lot of times where I get to that point, but my opponent's ahead of me right now. And it's like, if I make this Wimpy Intrigue challenge, they win the game. Like, you know, but I need to win power to make them not win the game. So, like, now this card can be a blowout card where it's it's a fork in the road for your opponent. Does he have this card? If I block, I win the game. But if I don't, I just wasted 2 big renowned bodies, and now he's gonna bastard Night Song me. He's going to get this crossing power. He's going to get the renown. He's going to take a power from me.
It's a lot like sitting on someone's hand with a Jacarius. Like, this is the Baratheon equivalent of, like, that kind of fear you see when they have 2 gold sitting out, and you're like, well, they have cards in hand, and they have money. Is this really fruitful for me to swing? Should I go in real hard? Like, I see it as the same type of thing. And these, like, end the thing effects are really popular in other card games, and they're really powerful because they can stop triggers and things from happening. They stop a ton of stuff that you wouldn't think about stopping. That is super important from a game mechanic perspective because you don't have any of the duck stuff happening when you have this go. Like, nobody can win or lose. Like, you don't get any end of challenge effects. Like, there's no renown or like any of that stuff happening. I mean, you only get like when a challenge is initiated abilities, and that would be it. So cutting that out is really good. And
you know, you have that Night's Watch plot that's really good. That, you know, first challenge, no winner or loser. And a lot of people just forget about that too. That's what's funny. It's really annoying, actually. You will see that card's out in play, and you'll forget about it. Yeah, so imagine with this, like, you can blow some people out, and you will win games because of this card. Just by the fact, like you said, I love that there's no winner or loser. So there's no gaining anything out of that.
I'll pay 2 to set my opponent's claim to 0 for a challenge.
Exactly. Exactly. So
and it can help you from losing too. Like, so maybe you play this against Martel and you don't lose. Like you don't win the challenge because something bad is about to happen. Like, you can see the commits they're getting. Maybe they do some stuff in the opposed to defending the challenge action phase that triggers you to be like, okay, they're gonna do something with a card, like they're going to do something on losing a challenge, and you're like, let's stop that, okay? Like, we can go to taxation and pass the turn, and you can maybe do something next turn, but this turn I'm going to have a little bit more control.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's only during when you initiate a challenge, but you're right, with Martel, like, when you initiate that challenge, and you're like, I think he may have Viper Eyes or something, or Vengeance for Elia, you know, like you said, let's not have that military.
Yeah, and so, like, you might not always want to do that, but it's nice that the card has that flexibility to be like, I might not want to win a challenge in those weird cases. Like, I might want to hit myself with killing a character. Like, those kind of things things that can like whoosh right over people's heads sometimes is because they're negative to you. But it's sometimes good to not win a challenge, especially in their own decks.
Absolutely. And then its most powerful thing is at the end you get to have an additional power challenge,
which is super cool for crossing.
Yeah, exactly. So
2 power challenges in crossing, like, because you could fail you could do this on your like intrigue. You're like, whatever, cool. I get 2 power challenges this turn, so you're swinging power even harder in crossing deck than they already do, which I'm 100% down for.
You're gonna hit 2 power challenges, and you still have a military at the end, which most of your characters will have military power, and most of your renown will have military and power for Baratheon. Yep. So that's where this is key.
I'm like 4 on this guy.
Oh yeah, I'm totally. Yeah. I want to give it a 5, but I'm going to give it a 4 because I don't know how well it's going to play.
All right, we're almost halfway through.
Yep.
So we got Penny, 2-cost character, Shadows character with power icon and 2 strength, unique but non-loyal, a fool, and Shadows 1. When you control more cards and shadows than your opponent, Penny gains a intrigue icon and stealth. I'm like, meh. Like, I don't see it yet.
It's a fool, so it seems to be continuing that theme.
Is there many other fools in Lannister, though?
Not in Lannister, but I mean, like, Tyrell has a fool, Baratheon has a fool, Stark has a fool, so, I mean, it's just continuing that fool theme.
I wish it was intrigue and insight, because then it would fit really with the fools, but this card is like a 2 or 1 for me, like, I don't even know. Like,
I'm going to go with 2, it just seems like a Shadows body.
Yeah, I want to put it in Shadows and leave it there.
That will trigger off this next card, which I think I'm high on this next
Really, what I want to do is put it in Shadows and use the Tyrell location to draw with it.
Yeah. Well, I think this next card for Lannister
is cool. Yeah. 3-cost location, the Bowels of Casterly Rock. It's a loyal and unique. It is the Westerlands keyword, and it says a reaction after a card you control comes out of Shadows, either gain 2 gold or draw 1 card limit once per phase. So this is our Lannister version of the...
I would say if this was a Tyrell card, you wouldn't even have that ore. You would be 2 gold and draw 1 card.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm kind of mad about that. This should be 2 gold and draw a card for Lannister to help boost them back up. So that's my only thing, but I think this is a really cool card, and this puts Lannister back on the map, or at least starting to get back into competitive.
I like it puts them in the Shadows too, like Tyrell in Shadows, Lannister in Shadows makes sense to me. I can see Greyjoy Shadows maybe coming in a little more too, based off of some of the things they do in the stories. But these are the factions that like are an embodiment of this mechanic, right?
Yep.
I guess the one thing you have here that you had on the does the other one come out of Shadows? Like, is a Shadows card, right? Or maybe I'm thinking of the Martel location. That's a Shadows one. That's one I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. So I think it's good. I hope we continue to get these
absolutely
cards that make you want to play Shadows in every faction.
That's where Penny will come into play. Is Penny will be easy trigger off of this.
That's a good point. That's what Shadows location.
That's what she's gonna be for. Yeah, I mean, what was she? So she's a Shadows 1. So I mean, 3 Shadows is pretty cheap.
And there's that Lannister event we got last time that was a Shadows 1 too, beneath the Bridge of Dreams.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got Robert Strong, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite Lannister cards right now. It's super good.
I'm at like 3 or 4 for this one too, because I like that it puts Lannisters into wanting to build Shadows. But again, I don't know if like they're totally there yet.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this a 5 just because the future for Lannister is looking bright with this card, and this is gonna be able to trigger. And I have a feeling that, like you said, Lannister and Tyrell, they're gonna have probably some of the best Shadow cards just by the fact that, like you said, that's who they are. They have. I mean, the Shadows thematic's really cool. Each faction has people up front, during the light, but then you have workers that do their work in the dark. So everyone has that, but it seems Lannister and Tyrell will have the most of that. Yeah,
they're the ones that don't have as many people up front necessarily at certain points in the book series. So, all right, our first Greyjoy card is going to be another Shadows card. That's cool. 3-cost character with a power and a military icon, and it's got 2 strength. Hagins Daughter is unique with non-loyal Ironborn. Ironborn's cool. I like Ironborn. Shadows 2, so similar thing. One costs more than it costs to play it. And as an interrupt, when Hagins Daughter would be killed, save her and return her to Shadows. Non-loyal, and return her to Shadows instead of being killed. So, like, what I see happening is you flip this out of Shadows, claim military, and then you can do something where it comes out of Shadows and you get a bunch of stuff, and you just, like... You can keep doing...
We just had that Lannister location.
Did I say 3-4? I meant something a little higher than that. I think this card is cool. I think like there's little parts of it that hit in a lot of different decks that I like.
Exactly.
I'm waiting to see if there is a Greyjoy location that cares about shadows and what it does, because this card is going to like mesh with that really well.
It'll help nullify military claim.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah. And then it will trigger off of, you know, I don't know, that Lannister or Tyrell location.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's cool. I think this card's solid, like, because you're bannering. If you banner Kraken, you put this card in with Shadows. Like, in the Shadows decks, this card is like a 4 or 5 for me, because the infinite military claim, that if you can afford it, you just basically just get to say, okay, I'll flip this out, you know, claim it, goes back to Shadows, and then there's nothing that says you can't put it out again.
Nope.
And so, like, as long as you can keep killing it, like, you can just keep, like, doing shadow trigger effects all the time. And
all the time, no.
It could give Penny a random stealth and intrigue icon if you really wanted to go that way. Like, seems cool.
Recursion's pretty good in this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you think?
I'll give it a 4, honestly.
Yeah.
I agree with Banner decks. And a lot of this, I didn't expect this because I figured a lot of these cards would start pushing mono. But it seems to have some of the opposite effect. You know, last weekend with regionals, Stark Dragon won. There was a Greyjoy Dragon that won in Germany. So it seems like these like banner decks are starting to pop their heads now.
Which is good, because it's cool to see. I love the fact that they give me these build around agendas, because that's literally what the point is. But it's nice to see, like, okay, let's move away from like Wars to Come just totally wrecking everybody, and let's put some banner, like put some cards in here that make it easier to banner and make it more fun to banner. So we got a Shadows event, a 4-cost Shadows event, because it's 2 to put down, 2 to flip up. It's got no cost normally, but it's called Steel Rain. It's a song, so if you know you're going to do that. It is also loyal, so it might be hard to put it in the song decks, but it's got Shadows 2, and it says in action you can sacrifice any number of your Greyjoy locations, and for each one sacrifice you can search your deck for a different Greyjoy location equal to a lower cost and put it into play and shuffle your deck. That is the jankiest jank I ever want to build around, because like I would love to do this like right before a challenge is about to end, like, declared, and you know you're going to win it without a Seastone chair, and then you're like, well, look, I got a Seastone chair out now. Do you like having your characters where they're at? Or maybe you do something like you set up this turn where like you flip a bunch of stuff out, and you have this like duality to your deck where it's like, okay, I'm normally Greyjoy aggro, but like I can flip out all of these like Greyjoy death locations or like kill character locations that I care about killing, and I don't know. It's super specific. Not probably very good at all, but I really want to see someone just build some janky stuff with it.
We'll see. I mean, I think this has very potential to be in good Greyjoy decks. Like you said, toolbox, that's why Reigns of Castamere was so good, was the toolbox effect.
Is it worth 4, though? Like, we're talking about things like ours is the old way, which was like giving and taking away stealth, and people were like, that card is junk, it's a binder fodder card. Like, so I'm wondering if the cost is what's prohibitive about this card.
We'll see. I don't think it will, honestly. Okay. I think this card, I'm going to put it at a 3 right now, but I have it being more later on, because I have a feeling that it's going to, you know, go up in value with this these packs, and then, you know, future, because Greyjoy still has a box that's that needs to come out, so we still have Baratheon, Targaryen, Greyjoy. We don't know what the next box is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So whether it's this one or next cycle, it doesn't matter. I mean, Greyjoy is not.
It only has the potential to get better with time,
Exactly.
because even if they split and do what they did with like the Lannister or most of the boxes, where they're like, here's what we normally do, and there's a few cards for that, but here's like Clansmen, right?
Yeah.
And here's the other half of this. You're still going to have locations.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
I'm not hurting on locations.
Yeah, you're right. This is just going to increase in value over time as Lannister, or Greyjoy, getting one location like every cycle would even make it go over time if we go through. So I don't know.
If it gets that Shadow location you were talking about,
right.
You know, you're hoping for.
Yeah.
Like, what if we get one?
I'm at 4 or 5 just because I like the jank, and I like fanboy of Greyjoy. So like, I have trouble not giving it away. So, all right, here we got. What do you want to say? This one, Hagins Daughter, right?
Yeah, Hagins Daughter.
Okay, 6-cost character. Intrigue and power icon with 4 strength. It is a unique but not loyal, and it's a king. That's interesting.
Yep.
Non-loyal
Martel loves
king.
this guy.
Non-loyal king is cool.
Martel loves this guy.
Action: discard 1 card from your hand. Already like it. Reduce the cost of the next card you marshal this ambush or bring out of shadows this phase by 3. This seems like it can make that deck that we were talking about, not on the show, but like offline better, which was like, is it the Italians rebuilding?
The Skaz.
The Hazadon Red Door deck where you're like,
I needed it last week when we were playing our G&K.
And so this part, like, I'm covering the screen, but you can't see this, but like the top half of the cards, okay, like a 6-cost icon for 4 is like not something you'd always play, but it's not like terrible because 6-cost slots, like, you have like Dany and maybe like 2 others, right? Because Aegon's 5.
Yep.
And so, not terrible. But then you get this like cool action to like get this weird kind of econ location thing happening, and I like that it says or bring out of shadows too, which is super cool.
Which essentially makes Aegon, because he's shadows 3, makes him free.
Yep. And so I am a huge fan of whatever's happening just in faction here, not to think about like all the other things that it could do out of faction, because I mean.
You're going to be bannering Tyrell, you can banner Martel.
Right?
I mean, Martel will banner this. I mean, you got Stark, so Stark Dragon, Martel Dragon, Greyjoy Dragon. I mean, he's going to be, and he's a king, so...
This card almost is like a sweet card for me. So, like, I don't know if we've talked about this here, but we've talked about it in other places, but the idea of a suite of cards is something that is a set of cards that's independent to... the normal theme of any deck that can kind of go in a lot of other decks. So you throw like this in, and maybe you throw some of the other non-unique Targaryens in, and you throw like Flea Bottom and some other solid cards, and you just have this nice little suite that whenever you have Banner, you can Banner Dragon, you can throw it in. Whenever you have Tyrell, you throw it in because it doesn't take up too many slots, and it's also just like kind of a good another good kind of reducer, set up the turn, like type of effect.
Yeah, Banner Dragon is ridiculous right now. You have him, you have Aegon, you still got Plaza Pride, you still got Second Sons, Missandei.
All of those cards care about being in the discard pile with Flea Bottom too. So like Second Sons Flea Bottom's great.
Still got Jorah,
Jorah's
Friedman.
Yep.
I mean, you have all these things that's ridiculous.
I'm thinking this guy is like a 4/5 for me, just because of like all the synergy he has with himself. I like the discard part, but I like the other half of it in everything else, because reducing the cost by 3 is that kind of like weird key number of like, oh, this is better than Great Hall. Like, oh, this is better than most things are going to reduce, right? And all
you're making the spies, you're making them a 1 for Martel, you're making the messengers for Martel a 2, I mean, you're making Aegon free, you're making High Tower Spy for Tyrell free, you're making the Elena's Foreman a 1, I mean, a 1 for an extra challenge, that's pretty crazy. I mean, there's just endless. So I'm giving them 5 just because I don't even think we can explore everything.
In the time that we probably shouldn't have left, we can't talk about it all. Yeah. All right. Next one we got is Marine. 3-cost location, unique and loyal, and it's got its own keyword, so it's like self-titled, I guess. As an action, kneel Marine to place each card. Okay, to place each card in your hand face down under Marine and draw 3 cards. And at the end of the phase, or if Marine leaves play, discard your hand and return each card placed under Marine to your hand. And like, I'm just going to let it settle, because it's like a paragraph. Amazing. You like it?
Oh, that's amazing.
I think it's cool.
That's amazing.
You
essentially get 3 cards extra in a challenge phase.
That's true.
So, for the Skazadan deck we were talking about, the Italians have been running, I mean... They basically essentially run exchange the information. It's Red Door with Skaz already out. Exchange the information, and then you literally just play to hand that deck. It's a high skilled deck, but you play to hand the whole game. And the Marine is just another, icing on the cake of, okay, I played out of my hand right now that I want to play this challenge phase. Now I'm going to initiate Marine.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
And then here's 3 new cards I'm now
It gives you fodder for discard if you need to do it. It gives you potentially more of those events, sweet events that you want to see for, like, for Dany. It gives you just insight into like things you're going to hit. And what's the nice part is that if you don't like those cards, you don't have to see them again for a while, because at the end of the phase you're going to get your hand back.
Yep.
So.
And then, by the way, we just had this king named His Daughter who likes to discard.
Yeah, right. So that's
like
good.
Bringing out shadows,
Fodder him on the board. So like that would be sweet hit. You marine and you get like something that costs like 4 or 5 into some discard fodder, and you're like discard for Zolorak, play this card for cheaper, and now I've just set up a bunch of other stuff.
Absolutely. It's a high skill card. Yeah. You need to know when and where and why you're doing these actions and how you're going to do it. So you got to really think and set up, and that's why I like that deck, is because it's a skill intensive deck.
Yeah.
And the one I'm running, the Italians are running was Blood Rider. So I mean, you're using Aegon to bring out the big Dothraki. You're using Blood to get the Blood Rider out, and then you can use Marine with his Dart. Like there's just so many plays to do.
It's like a toolbox, but like it's all in like how you treat things. It's not like a toolbox like you're pulling from what you need from the deck. It's like a toolbox of potential actions that you can perform to do different things during the game, and all of those things are the subtle yet powerful things about Game of Thrones, as opposed to the slam it down and win kind of Game of Thrones.
Absolutely, yeah. It's we like to call it lines of play.
There you go.
And it gives you so many
lines of play.
Yeah, it gives you so many forks in the road or branches of lines of play that it's up to you to figure out, how am I going to get through this challenge, or how am I going to win this game if you're at that point.
And the stuff I've seen from Targ before, and I've never been a huge Targ player, but is a little bit like blunt force-y. Like you have double military challenges. You're trying to like hit on like killing characters really hard, but I like that there's a techie aspect of this Targaryen thing, and I hope that when they come out with the deluxe, it builds on this kind of like there's like bash your head in Targaryen, and then there's like subtle like kill you differently or Targaryen. I'm thinking this is like a 4. You convinced me that it's definitely
very high. Yeah. I'm very high on it. I'm going to give it a 4. We'll see. It definitely, like I said, it's skill intensive, so it's not going to come right out and just be like a bomb card. It's just not going to be a bomb card right off the bat, like changing the meta.
Yeah. All right, we got Maiden of Poisons, a 3-cost shadow card from Martel. It's an intrigue and power icon with 1 strength. Bastard, which is good. Sandsnake, which is also good. Non-loyal, which could be interesting. Shadow 2, and after you lose a challenge in which Maiden of Poison is participating, sacrifice it to choose a participating character with fewer than 2 challenge icons and return it to its owner's hand. Seems like money. I mean, we like returning stuff to hand, like the control.
Yeah, it's definitely Martel will continue to be the control house, and this is just another tool to do it. I mean, it's a cheaper messenger essentially.
Yeah, I like to lose a challenge, put their chud back in their hand, and you're like, oh man, now I have to claim someone big. Yeah. Like that's cool.
Yeah, 3. And it works with Vengeance of Aelia too. So I mean, if they don't do the military first, they do some other challenge first. You can return, like you said, chud. Then they want to do a military. Well, here you go. Now you have to claim one of your guys. You've already returned a character to the board. Now they lose a character, and then you can do your own military. So essentially, you can do a 3-character swing on a board.
Sweet.
So it's definitely a control card that goes into attrition type of deck.
Yep. I think 3 for me because it doesn't fit in every Martel, but it's good in what it's in.
Yeah, I would say 2 to 3.
Okay.
It's definitely it's a redundancy card.
Yes. All right. I know you have feelings about this card, so I'm just going to say 0 event, serve, obey, protect. Play only if you've lost a challenge as a defending player this phase. After an opponent initiates a challenge against you, return a Martel character to your hand to put a different Martel character printed 5 cost or lower and play. Testing.
Yeah, I mean, this card definitely, I'm going to give it a 2 to 3. 5 cost. I mean, it's pretty good stuff. I mean, you can go off with Arion. You can go off of what was it? The new Obara. So I mean, there could be chains
with
free. This. Yeah, and it's free. This definitely goes in a like a Martel Wolf or Stag or something where it's board attrition. You want to rotate cards in and out of your hand. You want to get you're trying to do all 3 challenges with very few characters on the board, so this card can get you those icons that you need at that time to do it. So it's a very tricksy type of card. I'm just going to give it a 2 or 3, like I said.
Yeah, I think I'm like 2.
we'll see how it goes. You do have to lose a challenge this phase, so
as a defending player, it does
have a triggering condition that needs to be met.
It's got a lot of words. It's not just lose; it's lose as a defending player. So you like basically. I guess you're playing into that already though, because you're going to go second. But
it is what it is.
This card has me wondering things. So 6 cast character, the power icon. It is Tycho Nestorius. It's a 3 strength unique ally. You can't win the game, but you can pay 6 gold to treat as text boxes if it were blank, and he gives you +3 gold during your income.
Yeah.
So, blanking him does not cause the income to go away, which is nice, I guess, for whatever you need it for. But I think it's interesting, but, like, I don't really know what I do with it yet.
Yeah, I'm not too sure with this guy exactly what you're going to do with him. I mean, last the Giants, it's not really going to do anything to try to get that 3 gold because you can't put him in because he's killed at the end of the phase. So if you try to do draw phase before your marshalling phase and counting gold, he's just going to die.
I don't see anything here because like you either have to claim him for military or pay 6 gold, and like it's just like a 1 until something else comes out. Yeah,
it's definitely seems to be right now a combo card. I'm definitely not seeing the lines of play that people want to use them. I know people have talked about them. They've actually put out ideas to how to use them. But right now, I'm going to give them a 1 to 2 right now because I can't see it.
All I see it for right now is like a 6 cost +3 gold income. And like if you really want that, there's other better ways to get extra gold during.
Absolutely,
phase,
absolutely.
The not winning the game thing is weird because it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
Like it's like you could have just put you cannot do anything. You cannot like kneel a character. You're like, why is this here? Like it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like the most impactful thing because you're never gonna try to win the game when he's out, and if you just I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
City Gates, 1 cost location, King's Landing, limited. Pay 1 gold and discard City Gates from your hand to draw a card. +1 gold. Cool. I like drawing.
Yeah.
I like +1 gold.
Absolutely. It's a card. It's I don't know.
I think this goes in decks that aren't Tyrell.
Yeah, I mean, it's place of the board gets you +1 gold, and then if you don't want to play it, you can play it out of your hand to draw a card. So
I see this maybe fitting into the Skaz deck, just because you could draw mid-phase, and that might be the event you need, and you could just, if you can't limit it or don't have the money, you just discard it.
Yeah, it gives you a flexibility, absolutely. Like, you can either discard it for Skaz, or you can discard to draw a card. Either one works in your benefit, so yeah, I would say could work.
Like 2 or 3 for me. It's like, I don't know if it replaces Rose Road, and it's kind of like a little bit better, but if it was
1 cost, so I mean you're not getting anything out of it.
Okay, so we have a new agenda in this one called Trading with the Cohort. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
It's a banner. It says when you control no attachments, increase the gold value on each of your opponent's revealed plot cards by 1, which is interesting.
Yep.
After claim is applied for a challenge you won, sacrifice an attachment to search your deck for a different attachment with equal to or lower printed cost and put it into play. This is like the agenda that embodies the weirdness of the Steel Rain card from Great Choi. I heard some people talking about this at our last event, but I haven't really looked into this yet at all. It seems okay.
I mean, there's probably going to be some kind of combo.
Ala Ravensing your wards back out seems fun. Like Cravens, like you can cycle Craven and then like put your Craven back in and then kind of do that stuff over and over again.
You could try to do like the Big Brienne. You could try to run that deck again and just get her attachments, like knighting her, Lady Sansa's Rose things.
There's a runner in Netrunner that lets you build a deck that could have 1 copy of any program, right? And it was always interesting because you could never decide what quite to put in. And this feels like, to me, it's like the put in as many, like, 1 of attachments as you can and just toolbox out what you need whenever you need it. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You just like, okay, cool, what do I need to deal with this situation? Okay, I need a milk. Like, switch milk out. And you can put negative or positive. It doesn't have to be on the same character. Just switch them out and put a new target.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you could do Alliance, so you could do 2 different houses who have a lot of good detachments.
You can do Alliance because this is the agenda, right?
Yep, because it's a banner.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, it's a banner, so you can banner it with Alliance. So if
I see what you're saying.
If you want to do Tyrell Wolf, you can do this.
Learn something.
And then next thing you know, like you said, you can get your wards out.
Yeah,
You can get your Heartsbane or Oathkeeper or whatever you want to get out.
I don't know if it's too powerful though. Like feels like maybe 2 or 3 to me.
Right now I'm going to say a 2 because I don't know exactly the lines of play, what decks are going to be using it, which attachments are you going for. So.
Yeah. It's like all attachment good stuff, like Tyrell good stuff, but it's like you just put every attachment that's good that you can. I guess. Last one we have is a new plot card. It's a 4 income, 8 initiative, 1 claim Omen called the Bloody Flux. It's got 6 reserve and it says characters cannot be saved. So, I don't know.
5 for me.
Yeah.
4, 8, 1, 6, and the text is characters cannot be saved. Finally, here you go, Tyrell. Try to deal with this.
Okay, I can see this being like pretty brutal in
Martel Stag, Martel Wolf.
Okay.
Varys is gonna trigger.
I was thinking like Targburn. Like
flip
this up
and then
like,
go aggro. Stark Dragon. Military claim's gonna matter again.
But like I'm not seeing like unless you have targeted kill effects, you're getting 1 or 2 a turn. Like 1 or 2 unsavable kills a turn.
I mean, you got Taste for Flesh for Stark. You got Put to the Sword for anybody.
Yeah,
Seastone Chair matters again. I was thinking
again. Seastone Chair, yeah.
It matters again. I mean, Varys matters again. Like, I love this. I think it's a 5. It's gonna stop, the Maces and the Tyrell dupes.
How do you flip this up on a Valar turn and like everyone's set up for it and you just call it? You're like nailed it and like they're just a board wipe and. Oh man, I can see that being fun. Like playing the plot phase psychology and winning at it with this card could be devastating.
Absolutely, it goes into attrition decks. Absolutely, Martel Wolf, Martel Stag, any of these Band of Dragons that are going aggro.
Yeah.
I mean, you could anything that pumps up strength. Winter's coming. Like that's 2 different characters that now have to die. You can't just dupe. You can't. I mean. This card is definitely when the board gets small in military claim, it'll make.
This could be pretty brutal. Is it Winter's Coming? Is the one that raises your claim?
Raises your claim.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The Dothraki when a Blood Rider's in.
That's where I see it being useful too. Like I'm gonna give it 4.5. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna sit at because I know I'm gonna get annoyed by this card, like I do with the King of the North, but I don't know how I'm gonna get annoyed yet. So
yeah, it goes into some very specific decks right now.
Sure.
But I mean, like you said, also it can counter a Valor turn. Yeah. Greyjoy, Iron Minds don't matter anymore. Mm-hmm. Your events don't matter. Risen from the Sea doesn't matter anymore. Your dupes don't matter.
I think that's wise because like it sounds like a card that you'd play when you know your meta really well. It's not a card you'd play if you're just deck building for fun or things like that. This is like a heavy card, kind of like that. Not as good, but kind of like that Stark attachment earlier, where you're like. I know what I'm facing because I know what people are playing and I need this.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all this pack. We have Colorado Regionals coming up on July 14th. That's next Saturday.
Yep.
So come down to the Springs at Pitry's Games.
Yep.
And come play Game of Thrones with us. We have a ton of swag to give out from the Bearded Clansmen since we're kind of pseudo-hosting it. And then there's also some other stuff that's happening with the road to, was it?
Nationals.
Nationals stuff. Where there's like a shot glass for the winner and some stuff that's happening because of that, right?
Yep.
And so tons of swag is going to be there. So if you like Game of Thrones and you just like playing, that's a really good time to meet the community in the state you're in or even the region you're in.
Yep.
And just kind of hang out and have fun.
Absolutely. Come on down. Doors open at 10. We'll start at 11.
Cool.
All right.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bye.